right. Hello, hello. Hello, everybody. Shout out where you're from. Shout out where you're from. We're doing it again. From Morocco. Sometimes I think my wife is in Morocco. I don't know. Pleasure seeing you. Hello. Hi from the DMV. Of course, DMV. That's where I'm at, as you know. Let's get you set up here. Okay. Algeria. Okay. Luxembourg. Amsterdam, but originally from Romania. Amsterdam. We all the way in Amsterdam? There's a lot going on in South Africa. Appreciate y'all. Everybody's plugged in today. How is everybody doing? How's everybody doing today? Can I join you? You know what time it is. It's time for relationship questions. I forgot you out this way. Yeah. A lot of people don't think I'm in Virginia. They think I'm in LA. Everyone thinks I'm in LA. That talks to me. I'm like, nah, I'm not in LA. The UK, let's get these questions going. Dating and relationship questions, let's do it. We need your wisdoms today. I like the way she said that, wisdoms, multiples. What's the quickest way to detach? It depends on where you're detaching from. Because some detachments are easier than others, right? But I think the main thing is you have to starve it, right? You have to starve the attachment. So, for example, if you ever want to get over a craving, like food, sweets, caffeine, stuff like that, you have to go on a detox. You have to starve it. You have to go on a fast. That will help you get over a lot of cravings. That's how you get over a lot of attachments, right? Is by starving it out. The longer you starve it out, the less it's going to become a problem for you. You have LA vibe. I'm half LA girl at heart. Yeah, I'm originally from New York. So it's New York, Virginia. So you got north and south with me. How should I start to do zero contact? Zero contact? Well, I mean, you just answered the question in the question. It's called zero contact. Don't contact. But what you're going to have to do is go through the emotional labor that it takes. See, we always talk about the manual labor, which is, oh, well, I'm going to just stop. But the emotions are what happens next. So you're going to have to be very careful about the emotional labor and making sure that you're having grace for yourself, that you are keeping yourself occupied, that you're not just sitting in it. You're going to have to stay present. Those past memories will start to show up. When those past memories show up, that is a moment for you to disengage, right? Stay in the present. Stay grounded. It is sad my ex-dismissive avoidant BF reached out after 5 months within one missed call, which he did 5 times. Glad I went silent on him. I need to heal. Okay. How do you know if a man truly loved you? Because if he truly loves you, his love won't be entirely based off conditions. He will love you for things that doesn't require you to do something. You see what I'm saying? He's not going to have a huge requirement for you to show up a certain way for him to love you. Sometimes he just loves you as a person. Just the way that you are. Being adored, being appreciated, when someone just looks at you and they just think, wow, that person is amazing. You can think someone is amazing without them ever doing something for you. So when a man loves you like that for those things, not for, oh, I do this, you do this, I do this, you do this. He just loves you because he knows that you as a person is just such a beautiful gift. That's when you know that man really loves you. And when he tries to serve your happiness, like when he loves to just see you happy, that's another way to know. Why a guy keeps coming back for 8 years, even I reject him since he got married, because he thinks that you're still available. He thinks to some extent that you're still available. He's comfortable there. He's familiar there. He's not just going to leave. A marriage doesn't stop a bad man. How do I know a man's intention? You don't. That's why you have to give it time, right? Because a man can tell you, but what he tells you doesn't matter. What he does matters. So what you need to do is focus more on what he does for a longer period of time. And the best way to do that, in my opinion, is to hold off on gratification behaviors for about 3 to 4 months. It's not guaranteed, right? But you need to hold off on the affection, hold off on intimacy, hold off on things you would do if you were a long-term girlfriend or a wife. You hold off on those things for a good amount of time, you'll see how he acts, and you'll know his intention. Because let me tell you, a guy that has good intentions is going to look more for friendship first. He's not going to require you to jump in bed with him. He's going to say, how can we be best friends? How can I get along with you without us jumping in bed? How can conversations flow? How can we add value into each other's lives? Because it's going to take a lot more than jumping in bed to make a long-term relationship or marriage work. So he'd be more interested in the bigger picture, right? If you meet a man that wants to move fast and wants it now and starts to gaslight you, then that's a sign his intentions are not good or not what you're looking for. Thank you for your content. Thank you. Should I give my wife a second chance if she cheated on me? That's a good question. What I would say is everybody's story is different. There's a lot of people that are going to tell you absolutely not. But instead of saying absolutely yes or absolutely no, I would like to know the context under which this happened. What was going on in the marriage? Where were you guys at? Because some people will say this, right? They'll tell me like a face forward. It's not you. But some people will tell me this on the surface and say, my wife cheated. Should I forgive her? Not adding in the fact that maybe you guys were separated, right? Not adding the fact that you guys said we're on a break or things like that. You know, like things like that need context. Or maybe you were just being that awful to your wife and she sought out affection in others, right? I'm not saying that that's a good thing, but I'm just saying sometimes we got to look at both sides, right? So what I would say is cheating is I never condone cheating. I think that's a horrible thing to do to anyone. And personally, I don't see myself coming back from that, but everyone's story is different. I have a friend from university. He now lives abroad. He likes me. I also kind of. I mean, hey, if you can make it work. And love anonymous works. I feel guilty for throwing away my ex's things that he refuses to pick up when I'm trying to detach. No, because you're not together anymore. You know, like it's over. He knew the risk he took when he left this stuff with you. Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying you should just throw it away either, but I'm saying no. When my ex was gone, when me and my ex split up, and she lived far away, I was like, I'm not mailing this. It's going in the car. I mean, for me, I was like, I'm throwing this away. Like, I tried to mail some of it. It was just too chaotic. And there was so much disrespect. I'm like, you know what? It's not worth it. And that's just me personally, right? I don't want to answer for you. Do you think someone with kids should stay single until kids grow up? Seems men don't want someone with kids and honestly don't trust anyone around them. And no time. I think, here's the thing. This is a good question because a lot of single moms ask me about this. They ask me about men and kids and dating while you have kids and the whole thing with that. That is a very complicated process. People don't understand. Like, it is so tough. I can imagine to date while also having younger kids in particular, right? You have to look out for the betterment of these kids while also making sure that the man you choose is not only going to be a good partner for you, but a good father figure for these kids. And these are kids that he didn't even have. So how do you know if this guy is going to be what he needs to be? It's one thing to have a guy act one way and then flip on you in 6 months when it's just you. But then when you add kids into the picture, their hearts have to get broken too. So it's double, triple damage, right? So I say that by saying we have to understand that dating with kids is going to be a process, right? I don't think that you are any more undeserving of love than someone without kids, though. I don't think that you are any more incapable of getting love like someone without kids. I also say that because I know a lot of guys who have dated women with kids. A lot of guys who were single, who maybe had a kid or maybe didn't, that still dated women with kids. What matters more than anything is character on both sides. Believe it or not, the guys that are shouting the loudest, that are saying, oh, men don't want a woman with kids. You can listen to that, right? But there's a lot of guys that are not thinking that way as well. You know what I'm saying? So don't let the shouts of those guys interrupt you from the energy you could get from another guy who actually has a prize because he's meeting a woman that has great character. If you have great character and you have a good heart, that matters more, because if I had to choose between someone with no kids, someone with kids, I'm going to choose a person with a better heart. At the end of the day, better character. So, if you want to wait until you're older, until the kids are older, I understand that. I don't think you have to. I think there are ways. I think that if a guy really likes you, like I said, you could apply the same method as a woman that doesn't have kids. You know, like it's the same thing. Just wait a while until intimacy. If guys, if they're not waiting for that, then here's the thing. Even women without kids are facing that problem at this point. They're facing the same issues. It's a lot of guys that'll say, oh, I don't want a woman with kids, but then they'll date a woman without kids and put her through a lot, you know? So it doesn't matter anymore. Everyone's receiving the same stuff. What matters is that a person will wait with you and be patient. Hopefully that makes sense. My husband is too much attached to his sister. I leave my career, my family, I leave my own country to be with him. For him, it doesn't matter. All he wants to do, sister done for him. What should I do? Some guys have a really unhealthy attachment to their sisters. I've seen it, where they don't make one move without making sure that their sister is in line. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I believe that when you marry someone, as a man or as a woman, and I'll say this as a man, my wife comes first. I don't have a wife, but if I were to be married, my wife comes first. She's above all of everybody. She's number one priority, okay? So if I'm not willing to make her number one priority, then I don't deserve a wife. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. If I'm choosing my sister over my wife, I don't deserve a wife. Our marriage was smooth and she just had relation with her boss before marriage and she messed up again. Well, if you say your marriage was smooth, but would she say that? How is it possible that a man who 3 months ago asked again to reschedule the marriage and after 2 failed pregnancies to jump in a relationship, not having a period to recover or just having an escape? I don't know. There sounds like a lot of story and a lot of context I'm missing. So before I give an answer to that, I'd have to ask what happened in between, because it sounds like from what you're saying, sounds like he's a horrible person. But I would have to hear more context to understand how this all was happening in the in-between stages. Because that sounds like a long time, that stuff was happening. Are you from India? I'm not from India. Why do you think I'm from India? A lot of my closest friends are from India. He's always with his friends. He doesn't have time for me. They say it's business that I don't understand. What should I do? Well, once again, he's prioritizing his friends and their time over you. And he's also kind of condescending to you because he's saying you wouldn't understand his business. How does he know you wouldn't understand? Has he tried explaining it to you? Has he given you the option to say, I don't get this, I'm not interested? See, these guys are not trying to be your best friend. We got to stop dating guys that are not trying to be your best friend. This sounds like a waste. Like, if he's talking to you like that, what are we doing here? At my age, 56, is it okay that I don't want to be a long-term girlfriend or comfortable convenience? Energy is matched, but I want to be a wife. I think that's a beautiful thing. I think you don't even have to ask me if that's okay. Know that that's okay. Marriage is a forever partnership. If you're 56 and you want to be married and that's the way you want to live and you want to save a lot of your energy for just that, then that you have every right to feel that way. Is it guaranteed that we're going to get what we want? None of us. But it doesn't mean that you can't still be a part of that energy. If going on through life saying I'd rather be a wife than be some girlfriend or be a short-term girlfriend or convenience, and that's the mentality that you want to go with, then be that. Because you can be wife energy without actually being someone's wife. Just like you could be husband energy without actually being someone's husband. You don't have to wait until you cross that line to say, now I'm going to be in that energy. No, I like to practice that energy even though I'm nobody's husband right now. I want people to walk up to me and say, man, you seem like you'd be a great husband. Man, you must have a wife. Like, I want people to talk to me like that even though I'm single. Like, that's what I would love. I would love for that. So I think that's a beautiful thing. Mine are young and my 7-year-old has autism, so it's a lot to deal with. It's hard to fathom. Well, that's what I mean, is that at the end of the day, and I'm sorry to hear that. I can understand how that might be a lot to struggle with, right? But what I can say is a lot of people have something specific and significant in their lives that they are dealing with, right? And that if another person came into their life, that person would have to work with that with them. None of us are perfect. None of us have a perfect life, right? So what I would say to you is that doesn't omit you from being able to find love, though. You see what I mean? Because energy is way more important and way more effective than the complications that can come from that situation. And it is hard to fathom, but at the same time, it's not impossible. It's not impossible. But like I said, as long as character is amazing, as long as energy is amazing, because sometimes what you don't realize, if you ever heard of manifestation, when you tell yourself a lot of amazing things and then you manifest good things, right? You put good things out, good things come to you. If you say to yourself, I can't fathom that somebody would like to deal with my situation, then you might be manifesting that energy that is not going to happen for you. Imagine that, right? You're manifesting the energy that is not going to happen. You might actually be speaking it out against yourself. What if you tried to switch that up and say, yeah, I have a son who's autistic, right? Or my I don't know if he's a son or daughter. I think you just said 7-year-old. But I have a 7-year-old who has autism. And I just know that when a man comes into my life, he's going to have an amazing woman and an amazing child that has gifts. There's going to be so much love in this house that he's not going to want to walk away. If he's a man that recognizes genuine love, then he's going to feel that love so much that it's going to fuel him up and he's going to feel better here than he's ever felt out into this cold, cruel world. Sometimes we have to realize that this world is not always a great place. You know what I mean? Like, some people will say, well, I have this, I'm over 50, I have a child, how do I qualify? But it's like, do you realize that being alone in this world is the worst sometimes? Like, just being out here as a person is hard to deal with. And regardless of where you're at, If you are able to provide a certain type of energy, that can make a person feel like, oh my God, you saved my life. So I don't want people on here to keep thinking that I'm out of count. I can't get here, or this can't work, or I'm not qualified. Like, and I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but it's like you have to understand being alone out here isn't the greatest feeling either. A lot of people are lonely and they're struggling with that, and they're not receiving love in the right ways. If you can offer love in the right way to the right person that can recognize it, oh boy, they will be so boosted up from what you're doing. They're going to be like, I just want to pour into you. Being single life seems better. Do you agree? I don't agree. I don't agree. I don't think that either side is better. I think that's what you make of it that makes it better. You know what I mean? I think that you can have an amazing life with one person and be married if you, number one, choose the right person, but also that person stays the right person and you stay the right person. You know what I mean? So I think that with the right person, your life will seem way better than it'll ever seem being single. I think that if you're with the wrong person, single life seems amazing. It seems like it's the most amazing thing ever. So I don't think that either one is like preferable or like better or worse. It's whatever you make of it and what you've experienced. Random hiccup. My ex, who I have a kid with and doesn't take responsibility for our child, she is only 2. He asked me last week, how would I feel about him getting into a relationship? We've been apart for 2 years. I don't know. I don't know what to say to that. I don't know what the question is. How can I start to trust men again? I had a painful divorce with men I truly loved for more than 10 years. I end up became someone else, not me. Can I trust myself in choosing a partner? I think trusting yourself in choosing a partner has more to do with trusting yourself in more areas than just choosing a partner. You have to be able to trust yourself in all areas. See, a lot of the times when we choose, well, sometimes when we choose the wrong partner, we might have chosen not so great decisions in other areas of our life, because a bad partner is going to require you to choose against yourself. So more than saying, can I choose a good partner? Ask yourself, can I choose for the better of myself? Can I stand up for myself? Can I walk away when it's hard? Can I say no? Do I have boundaries? Do I stick to them? Like, that's what matters more. Because if you can say that to yourself, then only a good partner will qualify for you. When you've got yourself and you've got your own back and you are making sure that you're making decisions for yourself that are going to make sure that you're always safe and considered, then only good people get through. You hold the front door. They can't walk through unless you don't look out for yourself. You see what I'm saying? The more exceptions we give, the more that we allow a person to say one thing and do another, the more lies we let them get away with. After a while, it's like, are we just letting the wrong person through, or are we letting the wrong behaviors through? It's way more than that. It's not just the person. It's the behaviors. It's the way that they talk, the way that they act, and the way they approach us, right? Are we strong enough and have enough willpower to say, I got to walk away from this? I'd rather go back to being lonely as hell than to sit here and try to entertain someone that isn't working on themselves. What are the first signs we should look for in dating to notice a sincere guy in early stages? Well, you want to know some of the first signs? You guys don't need intimacy. It's one of the biggest ones. If he can still keep up energy with you and you keep up energy with him and you guys can thrive without intimacy, there you go. It's been 3 years, stopped dating because I was hurt. We were engaged for 2 weeks. Then I got to find out. It's like it keeps cutting you off. Helpful answer, thank you, absolutely. Like I said, if any of you want to work with me, if you want to have a one-on-one or you want to find out how to get one-on-ones with me, I have a new special going on. So make sure you go ahead and send me a DM with the hashtag word ready. Send me a DM if you want to work with me. Narcissist and I got our initials on our ring finger after we got married. Now we're divorced, but he won't have his tattoo removed. We've been divorced for a year. What do you think this means? Why are you worried about what it means? He left without saying a word. He disrespected me the last time we met. He disappeared for 8 months, and one day I got a call saying that he left the country. I didn't reply again, but still hurt. Okay, I'm sorry. You actually sound like a married man. That's probably why people always ask me if I'm married. I get asked if I'm married so many times throughout the week. I am not married. There's no ring on this thing. No, thank you for saying that, though. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I am not married, though. But I appreciate that. I would love to be. I think it's an honor to be called a husband. 36 and single after 16 years. I've gone out with the girls and I'm rediscovering myself, but I worry I'll never marry. I'm worried I'll never marry. I feel like men always mirror me and I later find out they weren't genuine. Well, maybe there is something to consider there. Because on one hand, I could say, well, there's just a lot of bad guys out here, right? And there are a lot of terrible men out here that are just looking to play around no matter what age you are. However, there could be something that you're calling in inadvertently. Maybe there's something that you're doing or saying, or something could be happening in that mix that you may not have discovered yet that is causing more bad than good in your dating experience. So I would say that might be something to look into, because even though we can have great intentions, sometimes the way we go about it is not calling in the right people. I feel like I'm a valuable person but never get approached, so it feels like I'm undesirable or something. Well, you also have to understand we're in a time period where a lot of men, feel a little bit nervous to do that. Also, a lot of men have been turned down. They've been rejected in horrible ways. So it's not just you, if that helps you feel better. It's not just you. But I would also say, and I think we might have talked about this before, the area that you live in and the type of people that you're around also matter too. Are you in environments where people are even looking for that? Or are you in environments where it's a bunch of married families or, people who are focused on something else? Because sometimes environment does matter. Dating a narcissist is never feeling at ease. Okay. Can't wait to see this man on podcast. He is the most reasonable, well-balanced male source I've ever seen so far. That is a hell of a compliment. That's a hell of a compliment. Thank you. I am going to be on more podcasts. I am going to be on more podcasts. We got more coming up. I got another one with Ashley that we scheduled already at the end of August. We're gonna make more stuff happen. So thank you so much for that. I'm definitely very lonely. It's been me and my littles for 3 years, and it would be nice to have love, but I'm never approached, so I don't know how to get there. Well, also, do you use dating apps? I'm not saying dating apps are great. I know people are tired of them, but hey, am I wrong to expect someone to give as much effort as I give? I think now that's a great question, right? I don't think it's wrong to desire it. I think it's wrong to expect it, because expectation can only be built off what you've seen. If you expect something you've never seen, that's gonna hurt you. You see what I'm saying? The problem is a lot of us have been gaslit in lingo. You're told you're supposed to expect someone to just naturally do something. But what if that doesn't come naturally to that person? What if they were never that person? Then we say they're a villain. So here's what I say. It's okay to desire whatever you want, but only expect what you've seen happen. And if you don't see what you desire, then it's okay to say, this is not for me. I want someone that can show up in the same way that I can. I would much rather prefer to date someone that is the same type of giver that I am. Otherwise, this isn't going to work. That's okay. But to say I expect it is where it might lead you to the wrong direction. My ex kept flip-flopping on marriage and having children, pressuring me, then pulling away. And each time I was pregnant. He changed his mind. Well, it sounds like he, sometimes when you see a guy flip-flopping like that, it's not because he's confused. It's because he wants to gain control. Sometimes dudes do that to gain control. 1 minute they're in, 1 minute they're out. 1 minute they want kids, the next minute they don't. They're just trying to get you to sign up for everything while they show little to no commitment. When I finally refused to marry him because I no longer trusted him, he quickly found another woman, saying she was a real one, even though he never let me go. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He just wants power. He just wants control. My life's been full of crisis and has gone downhill since I got with my narcissist. I'm sorry. Did you dump him? I have the biggest crush on you. Are you single? Are you open to meeting someone? You seem like a man. Oh, you're talking to me? Oh, man. I gotta tell you, you are brave for shooting your shot. I give it to you. I will never say never. Never say never. But I am a very focused person. So sometimes that can be tough. It is sweet what you said, though. Is it better to ignore or block an ex-narcissist? It's better to get over them however you need to. I can give you 1 or 2 secrets to do it, but what's bigger is getting over them completely. If getting over them completely means that it's about you. When you're still making actions in terms of them, that's not good. You can block them, but you'll unblock it. And you'll ignore it, but you'll eventually go back because you're doing it to get a reaction. When you do things only in terms of yourself in that regard, then you're better off. I need to block this person because I need to get over them. That's understandable. That's what I'm saying. Block them, ignore them, all the above. But do it if that's coming from a place of you getting over them, not just because you're trying to get them to act a certain way. Because then that's not going to work. That's going to backfire. How do you deal with emotions once someone leaves you confused? How do you deal with emotions when someone leaves you confused? Well, it depends. What's confusing? Old school, but I can't get with it. I want it to be organic. And that's fine. So here's what I would say for that. For those of you that say, I would rather do it the organic way than to do it the dating app way. Understand that you are shortening the pool. And that has nothing to do with the outside, right? Because what we say sometimes is like, oh, why can't I find a person? Why can't I find them? I can't find them. But you have to be in places where people are looking. You have to be in places where people are seeking. If you think that you could just walk into a Walmart and this married or some guy might roll up, maybe. But what you have to do is if you're looking or if you want to entertain an energy, you're probably going to have to put yourself in pools of people that are looking. And in those pools are going to be people that are just messing around, people that are weird, people that are not supposed to be dating, and there's going to be the few that come around that are looking for a genuine relationship, right? But it's weeding them out. It's playing a numbers game. So if you don't do the dating apps, then you got to play the numbers game. If you don't go outside enough and you don't go into environments where people could possibly get you there, then you have no resources, which means it's not going to happen. Or the likelihood is very small unless you settle. She said organic way means you'll be single for a long time. Oh, that's funny. Oh man, you could be because some people will say, "Oh, I want to," and I'm not saying like her in particular, but people will say, "Oh, I want to meet someone organically," and then I'll be like, "Where's that? Where's organic gonna go? Like, where do you find people like that? Oh, well, I don't go out. I don't go nowhere. I just stay home and watch movies and watch Netflix. I don't go anywhere. I don't even barely hit the gym." I'm like, so how is this gonna work? You're not even doing organic right. You gotta put in some time to organic. You know what I mean? You gotta be outside. You gotta get out this house, this air conditioned, wonderful home that you call a home. Stop sitting at home watching Seinfeld and comfort movies and eating good food. You gotta go outside and get uncomfortable. And then you can take your person and come back to the comfort. You know what I'm saying? We gotta catch the fish. Do you think it's necessary to talk to the person you're dating every day? Unnecessary? I think it depends on the person. Now, do I think that it is okay to not talk to someone new every day? Yeah. Is it okay to talk to someone new every day? Yes. Yeah. I think both ways are good. I think both ways can be good. It depends on the person. If that person sees it as value, then great. If both people see it as value, even better. If one person doesn't see value in that and the other one does, that could be a problem. But then you'll just have to compromise. But I think that if you like a person and you enjoy talking to them every day and they like that too, I think it's okay. Necessary almost makes it sound like there's a general rule, Is it necessary? A lot of things are not necessary. But at the same time, it might be a necessity for someone. I might need to talk to you every day to feel connected to you. And that's the way my emotions work. So if that's the case, am I wrong for that? No. If you can't accommodate that, then that's just your preference, right? So to say is it necessary almost rules it out like a general rule of practice. That's not the case, right? There is no general rule of practice in that area. It's just what a person likes and what a person prefers. It's a preference. How can you enjoy having the power to cancel souls? I mean, you see once you do, man, what are you talking about? Thank you for answering my question. I'm solid on my own and I see my man as my other half. Too many women are asking what a man brings to the table to maintain a lifestyle. I want a team with my man. Love it. I mean by confused, I was too supportive once he got the job. He cut me off for 8 months and left. I really felt confused. Well, I'm sorry about that. Sounds like you still feel confused after 8 months. Control, it's confusing why someone would want a slave rather than a partner. Can you please explain? Well, that's because they're scared of loving you from a vulnerable space, right? So normally they're either scared of loving you from a vulnerable space or they want to have multiple options. They want to have whatever option they want at their convenience without being told no. And one of the only ways to do that is to assert control over someone. If I control you, then I don't have to be vulnerable to you because I don't have to be accountable. Also, with that lack of accountability, I don't have to change on my side. I can do what I want, when I want, without any regards to your emotions or feelings. Starbucks and back is the best I can do. I work at home and see I'm a single mom. Oh, well, it's okay. Yo, so then your problem isn't that you can't find anyone. The problem is your lack of exposure. You know what I mean? Like, so that can change how you talk, the energy out, right? It's not that you can't find someone. It's not that nobody's looking at you. It's that you are literally not to be found. So if you're not to be found, then, I mean, that's pretty much keeping you out the game, right? I'm 36 years old, and I feel more comfortable focusing on my career and being healthy, being single for 10 years. I go out right places. Okay. Daughter's dad cheated on me with 6 women. Dang. I'm sorry. I'm a traditional woman looking for a traditional man. But whenever I think I found one, he gets the feeling he's not, I get the feeling he's not being honest. And it usually turns out he's either a Bob or a narcissist. What's a Bob? Is this new? It's sad to think about and baffling too that some men carry so many insecurities and believe they can fix themselves by simply dating a good woman. Oh no, they don't think they can fix themselves. They think they don't have to fix themselves by dating you. They ain't worried about fixing themselves. No. If they worried about fixing themselves, they would have done it before they met you. They're worried about getting you so that they don't have to fix themselves. Do you understand? My daughter's dad cheated on me with 6 women the past 2 years. It's traumatic for me. Hard time healing. Well, you can work with me. I have services that you can work with me directly on. We've been dating for 5 months and I'm not interested in talking every day. I kind of figured that. We both have children and I'm pursuing a second, but I want us both to be respectful throughout the relationship, second degree. Well, it sounds like your priority is not really on the relationship that much, which sounds like maybe he's not the one for you. Because if you are more focused on getting your degree and you don't want to talk every day and you're kind of on your hustle, then I don't even know if you're ready for a relationship. You know what I mean? Because loving someone is being accommodating, right? So if the first thing you say, I don't want to have to do that, I don't want to have to talk to you every day, and he wants to do that, then maybe that's not the man for you, right? I'm not saying to break up with him. I'm just saying, like, maybe that's not the right fit. He is now in a relationship with a woman with 3 kids, and when he hears I may want to actually date, he slips out about it. It's crazy, right? Controlling. Well, why are you even talking to him? Bob is in the house. I don't know what that means. I still don't know what Bob means. And that's another thing you might want to consider, right? When you date or when you say that you love someone, the question should sometimes be a little different. How can I make this person feel better? How can I make them feel more loved? If we don't talk every day, what's something I can do? Maybe it's not even that you need to talk every day. Maybe it's that he wants a check-in. Maybe he wants to sit with you for about 30 minutes and have a little conversation, right? If you don't look at that and say, I like that, or I would love to make him feel that way, it's just that I'm just so busy right now, then maybe that's what I'm saying. That sounds like maybe you're not really as into him. I might be wrong, but it kind of gives me that vibe. And no one's been able to tell me what Bob is. I was with him 4 years. I felt it is unfair to leave like that. Cut off 8 months and leave this country. Yeah, I understand. Can you give some advice, long distance relationships? Netflix has a option where you can do watch party, where you can watch a Netflix show or movie with someone that is not in the house, and you guys can watch it at the same time, and you can even... I'm into him, but he has been inconsistent with me lately, and I'm not willing to chase. I've done that before with my child's father. I'm not doing it again. I'm so confused on your story. And maybe we need to talk a little bit deeper, because I'm trying to understand what that means. First, you said you don't want to have to talk to him every day. And now you're saying he's inconsistent. You don't want to have to chase him. I don't know who's chasing who. Because in the beginning, I would have thought that he was chasing you. Now you're saying you don't want to chase him and he's the one that's inconsistent? Boy on bench or back off buddy or boyfriend on break? What, battery operated boyfriend. What does that mean though? Like what does it mean? Like a nickname for fake nice guy. Battery operated boyfriend? Hold on, y'all are funny in here. I'm gonna look this up a little bit because y'all are funny. They got names for everything. Operated boyfriend. Bob, what does it mean? A playful slang term used for a vibrator or other barrier-powered sex toy is usually used jokingly, saying, I'm spending the night with Bob, to refer to self-pleasure without... But what do you... How does this... A woman said this about a guy. In that context, he's only good for one specific physical function. He's emotionally unavailable or lacking depth. He's more of an object for use than an actual partner, reducing him to a tool. I gotta tell the friends about this one. Why would a man want to feel the power of deciding over a woman's body, even when it's about their own children? How can you feel good deciding now you're pregnant, now you're not? It's not now you're pregnant, now you're not. It's now you're mine, now you're not. You're mine at my convenience. If I'm an indecisive man, but I want things to happen when I'm decisive, then I'm going to decide to control you by saying, okay, now I got you when I want you, and then I let you go. So he just wants things at his beck and call without having to stay consistent. Boy, wouldn't that be nice? To just walk out of corporate America and then walk back in a week later because you just feel like being there? I'm struggling with this in my dating life. The guy I'm seeing is busy a lot due to his job and doesn't have time to talk daily, but I tend to have that anxious attachment style and can be clingy. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being clingy. However, if he has a demanding job, that's something that you're gonna have to learn to love about him, right? If you're seeing him and you know this from the get-go, then you're gonna have to ask yourself, can you put away some of that anxious energy and learn to love him for a little bit of his busyness? Because that's gonna come with the package. So it's a package deal. He comes with busyness. Now, as you guys start to date, what you can do is you can let him know. You can say, hey, I'm a clingy person, just to let you know. You don't have to tell him what to do. You don't have to try to get him to see it. You can just let him know, hey, I'm just to let you know, I'm a little clingy. So I actually like to talk a lot more than that. And see how he does. If he doesn't do more over time, forget about it. Or you just get used to it. I must live under a rock. I never heard this term. Yeah, I'm just learning it today. He want me covered dress. To cover dress means hot dresses, but he check out girls in front when I confront him. He just say I'm being controlling him. He doesn't like it. Well, it sounds like you have a boyfriend that's irrational and unreasonable. So why are you in this relationship? Mai cheated and lied to me all the time. We are having 2 kids. Rationally, it's no loss for me. Why am I still missing him? Well, because emotions are irrational sometimes, right? Emotions are illogical. And even though a person can hurt us, sometimes we can still find ways to find affection for them. So what you should do instead is not deny your emotions, acknowledge your emotions, which is what you're doing now, which is wonderful. But also understand that I'm walking away not because I don't like this person, but because I can still like them, but they would hurt me. You see what I'm saying? So that way, you don't just deny how you feel. You get it under control by putting it on the table. Broke off engagement recently. We have been together for a year, but felt that he wasn't taking accountability for issues and said things during conflict. Well, that's a good enough reason to break off anything with someone. Someone who doesn't take accountability is someone that shouldn't have a relationship. In my opinion, you should not be in a relationship. You shouldn't be able to make decisions. In a lot of cases, like, you should not be in power positions if you can't take accountability. I said I needed time for us to work on things. He proposed anyway. Then said, we are getting married either June or not at all. It felt like blackmail. Well, here's the thing. He doesn't get to decide that. He gave you an ultimatum. Blackmail is something different. That sounds like an ultimatum. It sounds like he's done with. Here's the thing. If he's saying, I need to be married by this time or not at all, that's okay for him to say. And it's okay for you to say, that's not good enough for me. That's not going to work for me. You know, everybody has a right to make their own choices. It doesn't mean that you have to do anything. There's a guy I'm interested in getting to know who's a SVP at my company. Different departments and reporting structures, so it wouldn't be an issue to date. I see him sometimes in meetings. Have you already started something? But he doesn't seem to know I'm alive, although a year or so ago, I thought may have been interested. It sounds like you're giving, so here's the thing. It's cool that you see someone at your job, but what I would say is you also might be giving him a lot of attention, because if he's a guy at your job that you find interest in, which is amazing, but at the same time, he doesn't know you're alive and you still think about him, that's giving it way too much energy off the rip. You know what I mean? People don't deserve that much energy from you yet. They got to earn that. So what I would say is, I don't know how it works at your job. So even though you guys are in different departments, I don't know how he's going to take it. So what I would do if I were you is I would just have a regular conversation and see how he acts. Luckily, you work closely to him or close-ish. So what I would do is just have conversations. The beautiful thing about people who work at your job is you can be friendly with them and not get there. You'll know off a vibe. You'll know, because you could even go to like a happy hour or to a lunch. Like, you can start conversation. If they return energy, you'll know. Figure out what you want to make it happen. The only person who can stop you is yourself. Undecided people make it hard on themselves. Before I entered my relationship, I made sure I was ready. My husband, soon to be ex-husband, left 2 days before Thanksgiving and jumped to a relationship 2 weeks later. I think they were together before he left. He left after 26 years together. How do I move on? You might need coaching. This is where you get my services. It may be a bit off topic, but why, when you enter a healthy relationship after an abusive one, you get triggered and react hard, the same as reaction to abuse? Because your nervous system has been adjusted to abuse. Your nervous system has been adjusted to expecting abuse. Your nervous system has linked romantic relations with abuse. So whenever you start to experience now a healthy romantic relationship, your nervous system is still saying there's danger here. So that means you have to get therapy or work with a coach like me. But that sometimes means you might require some therapy, or you might want to consider therapy. Because it's hard to get over that just on your own, and have your nervous system be rewired like that. It literally changes your brain. Yep, we've chatted before at functions, but I don't think he likes me or he's not interested in working in anyone work. It's fine and fun to think about, since it's nice to remember I'm someone other than mom. I think if you had more exposure, you would remember that more often. You know, you would remember that more often if you had more exposure. Wow, we're having a good session today. I wonder how long we've been on here. Okay, we're about reaching close to an hour. That's good stuff. So, like I said, for those of you that want to work with me, that are like, I want to work with Xavier, I want to figure out how to get it right, because you know I'm going to give you quick answers. You go ahead and send me a DM with the hashtag word ready. All right, ask me more questions. Let's go if you got them. Been so helpful. Thank you so much. But yeah, no, we got some podcasts coming up. We got some podcasts coming up. So be on the lookout for that. From Miss Ashley. Let me see. You want to see her page. Ashley Mayland. What else you got? More questions? Keep up the great work. Thank you. Priyanka. I love that name, Priyanka. I don't know why, but it sounds like your dude is just verbally abusive. All right. All right, y'all. Well, I'm going to go ahead and jump off. It has been a great time with y'all. You might see me on again, maybe later, maybe not. But I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll do this again soon. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Bye, y'all.